Hey, everybody. Thanks for checking out the show. It is brought to you by the law offices of Jacob Imrani. If you're in Southern California and you're in any kind of accident, he's the guy you want. 800-345-6789. That's 800-345-6789. One more thing before we start everything off. If you are watching the show on YouTube, please smash the like button. Subscribe to the show, leave us some kind of comment. Maybe you're going to react to something we talk about on the show. Maybe you have a guest idea. Do that on the ESPNLA YouTube page. Also, if you're on Apple or Spotify, please subscribe to the show. Leave us a 5-star rating. Leave us a review or a comment or a reaction or anything in the comments section on Apple and Spotify. That helps a lot, and we appreciate it very much. Again, appreciate you being here. Now, on with the show. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Mason Plus. It is episode number 5, and I'm going to welcome to the show today, coming up, my friend Bryan Cranston. If you are watching, don't forget, down below you can leave a comment, a reaction, a review, hopefully a nice one, a guest idea if there's somebody you really want to hear on the show. Again, just down below here, leave that in the comments section. And by the way, I appreciate the people who the show streams originally on the ESPNLA YouTube channel on Tuesdays at 10 a.m. And I'm so interested to see how many people actually tune in for the very first airing of the show. I appreciate you guys. You are the hardcore fans. So thank you very much for that as we continue to build this show. So with Bryan coming on, I thought this is a great opportunity to talk to you about how he and I connected as friends and as business partners. So back in 2004, Bryan was doing Malcolm in the Middle, and he came in to do a guest spot with me and John on Mason and Ireland. We were at our old studios, Dumpy Studios on La Cienega, which I think are still there, and I think KLOS still, sadly, is broadcasting from that spot, I think. But it was a dump. But Bryan didn't mind. So Bryan comes in, and we started talking. It was a very funny guest spot. I mean, he's a very funny guy. And we started talking about my movie theaters. And you guys probably know that at some point I owned about 30 movie theaters, 30 screens in Southern California. Not 30 locations, but 30 screens. And one of them was called Cinemas Palm Door, a 10-screen art house in Palm Springs. And putting up a photo, that's our logo, really cool. People filing into the theaters. It was kind of a golden time. And Bryan said, you know what? I made a movie a few years back called Last Chance. And it stars my wife. So Bryan made a movie for his anniversary with Robin, a movie that he wrote and directed starring Robin. And Bryan said, I never got a chance to show this in a theater. And I said, well, why don't you come out to Cinemas Palm Door and we can do that. So we brought the movie out. Bryan came out. Robin, his wife, came out. We screened it for a full house. Afterwards, Bryan did a Q&A with Robin, which was really, really cool. And afterwards, Bryan says to me, I really always wanted to own a movie theater. So I told him, let me figure out a way. And I did. Bryan joined the ownership group of Cinemas Palm Door. And in part because of Bryan, we got such great people coming out for Q&As. And I got to do a bunch of them. It was a really fun time. Like, here I am with Bob Odenkirk. I think it was for the movie Nebraska. And interestingly, Bob was telling me about the fact that he was going to shoot a spinoff of Breaking Bad called Better Call Saul. That's the first time I ever heard that there was going to be a spinoff, which was cool. Here I am with Bryan and Jonah Hill. This was when Wolf of Wall Street was in the theater, and Jonah came out and did a Q&A. Bryan's just always been so good to me and my family. Here's Bryan with my mom and my late dad, Steve J. Mashonsky Jr. Remember, I'm the third. He was the junior. Bryan he is genuinely one of the nicest guys you're going to meet, certainly in the business. But I mean, like, overall, one of the nicest guys you're ever going to meet. Never a moment of less than kindness from Bryan. So I'm really excited to have him on the show. We talk about a bunch of stuff here. We talk about, what do we talk? Madonna, his daughter, who is Taylor, who is on the Pitt, which is just a great show. Here he is. Here is one of the all-time greats, Bryan Cranston. Hey, Bryan, how are you, man?
I'm great, Mace. How are you doing?
Everything is really good. Thank you very much for coming on the show. I appreciate it. I believe you've been on so many of my early shows over the years. There was the PBS pilot. There was Culture. You've always been good about that, so thank you.
I appreciate it. I even watched your movie that you made.
That's amazing. Yeah, that little Lee Atwater. Well, what do you remember about it? I made a movie called Little Devil about the life of Lee Atwater. What do you remember about it? Because you did watch an early cut of it.
I remember a scene where you're in a hospital bed.
Yep.
Yeah. But God, that's like, I
20
watched
years.
That must be 20 years ago.
Yeah, 20 years ago. Yeah. I'm still looking for a distributor.
Hey, this is the business, bro. I mean, I've been in production since my production company was started just as Breaking Bad was going off the air. And you know, I created 2 shows of my own that went on the series, Sneaky Pete and Dangerous Book for Boys. And that was in the heyday when the streamers were just starting, Amazon and Apple and everybody is like, and they needed product, and we were out there hustling all the time. We sold a bunch of stuff, and it was great. Now there's such a contraction to the business. It's so much harder right now than,
Is it really?
Oh God, it's so much harder.
Is it because of consolidation?
Yeah. And also they're just not spending as much. So not only are there fewer shows that are being accepted and greenlit, but of those shows that are being produced, the budgets are far less than they were in the past. So we even, at one time, we even had, I think it was ABC called us and said, look, I know you're coming in tomorrow to pitch, but our budgets right now, if your shows are more than $1 million an episode, we're really not going to be able to buy it anyway.
And that's just you.
Yeah, that's just amazing because, you know, a normal show, a series episode of an hour-long show, you're right around 4 to 5 or so per episode. And for them to call and say anything 1 or under, we can see, it's like you can't make a show for that. And that's why everything shifted towards the reality programming and stuff like that. And it's really not my area of interest.
Yeah, so Cranston and Family is never going to be a reality show.
You know, you think of the Kardashians or all those those shows where you're following around a family all the time. I couldn't think of anything worse to happen. It's like I'd rather be damned to hell than to do that.
Oh, can you imagine having that going on all the time? So you just finished up a big run on the in the West End of All My Sons, the Arthur Miller play. It's interesting. You get to choose the projects that you like, and your taste is impeccable. But when you are looking around for whatever you're going to do next, what are you looking for?
It's always in a priority assessment. So the first one it has to be the overall story itself. Was I moved from reading the script or play? Is it important? Was it funny? Is it compelling? Did it make people think? It's got to be the overall um, feeling that you're left with after you finish a play. And if that's like, ooh, that was really stimulating, and I was able to invest in these characters, and I was curious what was going to happen to them, and it covers a theme that is universally relatable, then I'm interested, and then I look at the character that I'm being offered. Because I feel you could have a great character, but if it's in a bad play, that's what you're left with. That's the taste that you're left with in your mouth. And it's like, it's not good. It's not going to work ultimately. And if I feel there's a character that I could do or bring something to that's unique, or I have a feeling I know the way in to play this guy, then I look at the director, and then I want to talk to that person and see if she or he has the same sensibilities or about the play that struck me, and are we on the same track? It doesn't have to be specifically and entirely, but just, are we going to row in the same direction, or are we seeing things completely different from the play? So there's that, and then after that, it lessens as far as level of importance when it occurs. Who are the other cast members in, and then I see if it's something that my schedule can open up to. But the common denominator for me seems to be that I'm attracted, whether it's television or film or theater. I'm a, I'm attracted to characters that are very damaged, and
Well, they're the most
going.
interesting characters, right?
They are. They are. They are the most interesting.
So what's you're in London for months and you're doing the show. What's your schedule like on a day-to-day basis? Like I always wonder, like, are you up all night? Do you sleep in the daytime? Are you eating a lot of fish and chips and wrapped in newspaper? Or is it all ale? What was your time in London like, and what's your day like?
Usually, you wake up. I usually wake up around 9:30 or 10 in the morning, and I usually had a fatigue hangover. I could have had no cocktail afterward at all, and I
Yeah.
wake up feeling like, oof, that you put your body and your intellect through a rigorous workout. Um, and then I try it, and then in London, it was always about looking outside immediately. What is it, sunny? And I had a philosophy: if the sun is out, I'm out. I have to get out because the sun is so infrequent
Yeah.
over there that you have to take advantage of the moments that you see sun. Um, and so you get out and do a walk. Now I had my dog with me, so I go out and because I knew I was going to be gone for 5 months, so I would go out with the dog, go for a nice walk, and then stop and have a coffee and maybe a little bite to eat. Um, yeah, and then look and see how much energy I had. If it felt like, oh, I really have to take a nap, then I would look forward to getting it back. And about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I'd take an hour nap. Because what happens when you're doing theaters, you become a night shift worker,
Mm.
where at 7:30, 8 o'clock at night, I have to be at my physical peak. Everything has to be functioning really strong. My focus, my body has to be, and that takes you up to 10 o'clock at night or so, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Then the adrenaline is pumping in you so much, and I'm meeting with people who come backstage and go out to the stage door and say hello to fans. And by the time you get back home, I'm a little hungry, so I eat a little something, maybe have a little drink of beer or wine, and start to wind down. I usually got to sleep every night about 1 o'clock, 1:30 in the morning
Yeah.
is when the adrenaline finally
Yeah.
started to close off. And so Yeah, and then try to get 8 hours of sleep. So that
You
was my
know,
day.
when I go see a show, I always, especially like a Saturday matinee, because normally we get into New York and we'll see, a show Friday, two on Saturday, two on, do that whole thing. And I always think when I'm at a matinee, God, these people have to do this again tonight. It's
Yeah.
crazy, that turnaround. How do you make that turnaround when it's like you do it twice in a day?
Well, the schedule was I I learned from my first Broadway play that I really don't want to do 8 shows a week anymore with one day off a week. That's killer, because that one day off is you're a zombie. You're just you can't really function. So I learned from that, and from that point on, I do 7 shows a week, and I have 2 connecting days off. In London, where I just finished, we had Sundays and Mondays off. So I would come back Tuesday night for the show, along with the rest of the company, and we'd go Tuesday night, Wednesday matinee, Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday matinee, Saturday night, and then we're done for the week.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But I would my system was I never left the theater on the 2 show days. I would fold out my couch in my dressing room, and I would take a nap in between shows and maybe eat a little soup or something, and then it's time for the next performance.
Yeah. So how did Malcolm in the Middle come back around? I heard you were like a driving force behind the whole thing. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I suppose I had been wanting to do this for at least 10 years, maybe longer, maybe, yeah, maybe 12. Maybe it's been a dozen years. And I was after Linwood Boomer, the creator of the show.
Mm-hmm.
And when I first pitched him the concept of a renewal show, like a reunion show, he immediately said, no, that's not going to happen. I'm not interested. It was a firm no. So then about another year and a half after that, I said, it would really be fun to get everybody together again and see where the kids who are now fully grown men are. What I'm, well, and I heard him say, well, I don't think so. But I mean, if someone comes up with a good idea, and I realized then, oh, there was a crack in his armor. It came from an absolute no to, well, maybe. And then the next time I talked to him, it was like, if I come up with a good idea, I'll look into it. And now I knew I had him on the ropes, and I was pummeling him, But to his credit and to our great advantage, Linwood Boomer is not about to do anything just for the sake of doing something. He's so proud, and rightfully so, that it's like, if we have a great idea, then I'll think about it. But I'm not going to just have everybody there. It's got to make sense. And so then he finally came up with it, and it was a great idea. And Disney liked the idea. And we got 4 episodes, and it's the next generation. You look at it, and all the boys are fully grown men with in real life with children of their own. And they are all around. Frankie and Justin, who play Malcolm and Reese, they're both 40 years old now.
Wow.
I was 41, I think, when we did the pilot. Wow. So I said, you guys are now right around that same age that I was when we first started this. Yeah. You owe me an apology.
There you go. Now, was it like sliding on a pair of slippers that you'd worn for years?
It really was. We didn't know, because this show is exactly 20 years after we said goodbye. We're now saying hello again. And so I didn't know if it would be easy and simple. And I couldn't believe, we knew from the table reading, when we were reading the episodes, everybody just slid right back into those characters, almost as if you went up to your attic and found like a chest of drawers, like, what's this? And you open it up and you go, oh my God, I loved this sweater. No wonder I kept it. And you put it on and you go, oh God, I'm glad I kept this. And it's kind of like that. It was so remarkable that everybody just slid into their old roles. And then we had that responsibility of, of talking to the new members of the cast to say, well, this is, the sensibility of the family, and this is the relationships we had. And ultimately, it really, really works. This version of Malcolm in the Middle, 20 years later, is very funny, but it has the same tenets as the old show, which is at the core of this family, Malcolm in the Middle has a family of love. They love each other. Once the audience knows that and feels that, then we go crazy. We can absolutely berserk, because they already know if push came to shove, they would reunite.
So, do we get the Hal? Because I've not seen all of it. Do we get the Hal and the Tidy Whities situation again, or are you still Tidy Whitey, kind of in shape?
Oh, what's fun about this is that knowing I was going to do Hal again, I started eating. I started eating 3 or 4 pieces of pizza, and let me have that beer, and let me have, because Hal was always, a little pudgy, a little soft in the middle, and so it was fun to be able to just gain some weight, to be him again. And then they shaved me, and yes, I am in tidy whities, but even more importantly, I'm naked once again. I don't know what it is, Mace. I don't know what it is, but I think I just make the country laugh when they see me naked. They just need a good laugh. So, and I'm completely naked in another sequence in episode 3.
Very funny.
Just a little teaser.
So, Hal and Lois are celebrating their 40th anniversary, right?
Right.
So I just spin this out a little bit. I've known you and your wife Robin a long time. What is the secret to a happy relationship?
Well, Robin and I will be celebrating our 37th anniversary this summer.
Congratulations.
Thanks, man. And I think you just, it's understanding each other. It is definitely about giving of yourself, knowing what's important. Like I tell young people who are thinking about getting married, I go, all right, think of the 5 most important things that you need with your partner.
Yes.
It's like fidelity, stimulation, attraction, sense of humor. They're able to make a living and willing to make a living. There's no slacking. That they have, whatever the 5, good moral center, whatever your thing, and then let everything else go. So, Robin is not a good loader of dishwasher. She can't load a dishwasher. So that's my job.
Yes.
Right. She cooks. I can't cook. So she cooks. I do this. So from the very beginning, we started splitting up, chores and responsibilities. And then, because I'm an actor, I work out of state a lot and out of the country often. And that's a good thing to like let each other have their own individuality. And then you come back, and then you go and come back. The couples that are working together constantly and see each other for every single thing, I don't know how that's possible.
Let me tell you how it's possible. Because Juan and I are inseparable for 20 years now.
Yeah.
And I have found the easiest relationship strategy is just to do what he says. I'm not despite our history and the businesses that we were involved in, I am not a confrontational person. I don't like confrontation at all. I avoid confrontation at all costs. And so, like, for example, we're going away next week. I don't know where we're going on vacation, and I don't really have a say in it. It's going to be him that makes the decision. It always works out, but it's not even worth a debate to me. It's like, no, we're going to go where you want to go. So that's the way it works at my house, and it is very peaceful, and there's very little confrontation.
Well, that's what I mean. So you've realized, okay, so that's one of the things that is outside the 5 most important things in your life to get along with your mate. You have to have those things that are foundational with your partner, and outside of that, let it go. And I think that's the advice. Let it go. It's not important. It's not important. What you're arguing about now is not important. Almost always, it's not important. Just let it go.
Let it go is right. Let them all go. Let them all go, Bryan. So we do a little thing on the show called Don't Think. So I'm going to give you a word. You say the first thing that pops into your head, but don't think.
Okay.
Okay. Number 1, Broadway.
2. Oh, you said number 1, and I said number 2.
There you go.
Love. I don't know. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. Hard. Beautiful. That would have been my second word.
Yes. In-N-Out Burger.
Yummy.
It is good, huh?
Yeah.
Number 3, Shohei Ohtani.
MVP.
Nice.
Am I supposed to give a one-word response?
Well, we're going to circle back and we'll get some of this stuff too.
Okay.
Because I want to go back to, we're definitely going to talk about Shohei. How about Seinfeld?
Classic.
And one more, craft services.
Indispensable.
What is your go-to on the craft services table?
Okay, I have a philosophy on this for all of you actors and writers, directors. The rule is when you go to craft service, you say, what is the healthiest thing I can eat here? What is the healthiest? Oh, there's carrots. Oh, there's some apple slices. There's nuts and raisins. And then get that. Get the apples, get the carrots, get the nuts and raisins, get some celery or whatever, and walk away.
Mm-hmm.
Walk away.
Yeah.
And you walk away and you eat all that. And most times you are not compelled to go back. It's like,
most times.
I'm good. I'm good. But if you go there and start snacking on junk for the first 5 minutes after you eat that, you're going to like, oh, that was great. And then after that, you're like, oh, God, why did I
can't believe all that.
Why did I do that? Yeah.
I mentioned Shohei Ohtani. You're a huge Dodgers fan.
Yeah.
This week, he threw 6 innings of one-hit ball. Just extraordinary. We've never seen anything like it. Put into words what Shohei Ohtani is as a player.
I think he's a generational super talent. First ballot Hall of Fame, 100%. I don't think there's any denying that would happen. He's extraordinary. He has a great presence. It helps, I guess, in America from a television standpoint that he's very handsome. Mm-hmm. And it's like he's got it all. And he even loves dogs. I mean, now that makes us love him even more. Because, quite frankly, anyone who doesn't like dogs, I'm very suspicious of. It's like,
I'm with you.
I don't know about
this.
I am
with you. And by the way, and if they like cats, then I'm really concerned.
Yeah. Well, if they like cats, it's like, okay, I still need a little more investigation of you. But if you love dogs, we're over a big hurdle already.
Yeah.
But Ohtani, I had the greatest honor of on opening day 24 when he just joined the Dodgers, his first year of that World Championship season. I had the honor of announcing the Dodger players, and so at Dodger Stadium, I announced his name before anybody else did because I was on the speaker.
Right.
And it was so much fun to be able to do that. Yeah, he's great for the sport because of that international. I think he brings, a sense of worldliness to him. I love the fact that he and Japan won their series 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. It made Americans go, hey, so this is not a done deal. We have to really, and then you realize baseball that is beloved by a lot of different countries. Look how great Italy did this year.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that was surprising and wonderful. So the game we love is, getting some international appeal. The best player in the game, arguably, is from Japan. And so it really does open it up and allow us to expand our understanding of different lands and different cultures and different ideas and language. And I think it's a great thing. So, on top of all of that, he's just a fantastic player. He's kind. He has an impulse. If he hits a ball and it ricochets into the catcher or the umpire, he immediately checks, "Are you okay?"
Are you okay? I know he's so polite, right?
Yeah, yeah. Or he hits a line drive foul ball into the dugout of the opposing team. He's like, "Hey, I didn't mean that." Like, "You okay?" And and that's impulse. That's not something that he trained himself to do. It's just who he is as a person.
So I have this thought that if he wins the Cy Young Award this year, and it seems to be what he wants, it will be the equivalent of an EGOT for people in your business, an MVP, a Cy Young. I mean, he will have done it all, right?
Hey, did he get Rookie of the Year?
He did get Rookie of the Year,
He
yeah.
did. Okay.
The only one left would be Cy Young and World Series MVP.
World Series MVP, All Star MVP.
No All-Star MVP.
Okay.
But he's won most of them. But it would be
Yeah.
like the EGOT, right?
Yeah, I think
Nobody
so.
else is even qualified.
No, not even close. Yeah.
I always wanted to win an EGOT.
Well, give
I'm
it
0
some
for
time.
4. 0 for 4 so far. So your daughter, who I knew as a little girl,
Yeah.
Taylor Dearden on the Pitt, is just so good. She is so good. From the moment I saw her, and she plays such a unique and interesting layered character, I was like, what does that make you feel like?
Oh, you know, as a parent, the only thing that Robin and I, or any parent, hopes for is that their child is happy and finds joy in their life. That's it. I don't care. I really don't care what profession you go off as. Did you find it joyful and empowering and satisfying? Great. I'll fully support you. Um, the fact that Taylor became an actor shouldn't be any surprise because it's the family business. It's she's a fourth generation actor. Actually, my father was an actor. My grandfather was an actor in vaudeville. So it's a very common thing. In fact, kids going into their family business is the most common in the world. When you think of fishermen, painters, farmers, it's like, yeah, that's you go into the family business. That's where you're kind of groomed. So for her to become an actor is not surprise. All I wanted to know is that she was doing it for the all right reasons. And I speak about this often. And she is in love with the art that she has about it. She loves the how she feels when she affects emotional change in the audience. Yeah, she's got it. That's exactly why you should be an actor, a writer, a director, is the sense of having that artistic sensibility within you, and you have to express yourself. And so her role as Dr. Mel King on the Pit is perfect for her. She's neurodivergent character, and Taylor has ADHD and has always been dealing with that. And it's like it's a lot more common than you think. And so she has an understanding of someone on the spectrum, and she gets that and how you function, and it has nothing to do with intelligence levels or anything like that, of course. Um, but she's found a great outlet for her art, and we're just so happy. And
Yeah,
I
that's so
even
cool.
I got to show you someone. My sister sent me. They even have some merch now. So here's a keychain, and it's her.
Oh, wow. How cool is that? That is awesome.
Isn't that cute?
Yeah, that is really cool.
Yeah.
Really
So
cool. How great is that ensemble, by the way? Oh my
Oh
God, the
man.
Pit is just such an I mean, I would argue that the two best ensembles on TV right now are one that you're in, the studio, and one that she's in, the Pit. Just incredible ensembles. And it feels like my mom's boyfriend, not stepdad Leo, has a grandson who works in an emergency room. And he says, I mean, that's day in the office for him. He feels like that is so real and so genuine and so authentic.
Yeah. Well, Taylor has told me that, and so Noah Wiley, who is a friend of mine, and they said the thing that gives an actor or a producer so much joy and appreciation is when the field you're working in, the occupation that you're working in, finds that the real people who are doing it, they find it tremendously authentic. And the Pit doesn't glamorize anything. It is nasty and dirty and rough and tough and sweet and loving and confusing and frustrating. And it's all those things. And that's what it is. All those long hours and you know, the actors are working under the same conditions with the exception of the real life emergencies. But the hard floors, the low ceilings, the fluorescent lighting, all the everything around them is hard. It's metal. It's it's drawers and I mean, it's there's nothing soft. There's no. It's not like couches and pillows and beds and it's not like comfort around you that we all enjoy. No, it's hard and to work under those conditions and they work 12, 11, 12,
Sure.
13 hours a day too, So it's a long day and it's tough to do sometimes when you have to get out those 5 and 6 syllable medical terms and spew them out as if you've been saying it all your life. So the work she's doing right now and everybody on the Pit is really, really hard. As an actor, I know that work is really hard. The work that I get to do on the studio on is the exception. It's so much fun, and the only hard thing about it is that you got to get into that momentum that the energy of the show has,
Yep.
and that is, it's always moving. It's going quickly, and you got to be able to choose your points to jump in, kind of thing. But we just had a great 2 weeks shoot in Venice, Italy, and Madonna is the guest star. One of
Madonna.
the
So what's a conversation between Madonna and Bryan Cranston like?
well, I don't think she knew who I was.
Oh, come on.
No, I really don't. I don't think she knew who I was when I first met her, and she didn't know. I'm certain I can tell when someone knows. And quite frankly, it's more refreshing when you're meeting someone who really doesn't know who you are. And it's like, so then it's an even playing field. But it was then some guy talking to Madonna, and it was not an even playing field. But I got to tell you, I was very impressed with her. Madonna came into work. She is a disciplinarian. She is tough on herself. She works hard. She had blocks of monologue. In fact,
Hmm.
Seth Rogen was saying there was no other guest star that we've had on the show so far that has had more to do than Madonna and more
Really?
speeches to give than Madonna. Yeah, it was a lot of work. And she memorized her work and she was there to work and she was into it. We had long hours and she was all over it. And
Wow.
so I was very impressed with her work ethic and she was funny.
Yeah.
She was funny, actually. Yeah.
I would imagine, somehow that's not surprising. She probably has required so much discipline and so much focus in her career to not only break through, but also to evolve and to change and find out whatever the next thing is. So it doesn't surprise me that she works really hard.
I think the whole point is that the audience should never feel the the amount of work behind it. They should never see the flop sweat or the concern or worry or anxiety and pressure it takes to put on a show, either live, like Madonna has done for decades, or in what we're doing on the studio or the Pitt or any other show. It's hard. It's hard, and it takes a lot of money. It takes a lot of effort to put in, and you're under a clock. The clock is ticking, and you have to do it the most you can, the best you can, and it's hard. In fact, the best shows that I've been on, Malcolm in the Middle, Breaking Bad, the plays that I've done, they are hard to pull off. They're really hard to pull off because I'm working with people like Linwood Boomer, like Vince Gilligan, like Seth Rogen, who do not accept that's okay. That's good enough. They just don't accept the that's good enough option that some people actually do. They go, I think we got it. I think it's fine. I think we got it. It's like it's never that. It's no, we can improve it 3%. Come on, let's do another one and improve that 3%. And you go, sometimes people might go 3%. They won't even know 3% difference, but they will. Yeah. And the other thing to remember on filmed entertainment, it's forever. So if you can improve it 3%, that's a little bit of an uplift, and I'll take it. So it means it takes another half hour to get it, and take the half hour and get it.
Yeah. Vince Gilligan, you mentioned, his latest show is called Pluribus. It stars Rhea Seehorn. I had no idea what to expect when I originally turned it on, and my mind was completely blown. Are you surprised that that's where he went? That was his idea, his concept.
The thing that's not surprising is that Vince will always be surprising.
Yeah, yeah.
So, for example, just on a general sense, look at Pluribus, and he must have thought, well, in every alien story in science fiction, every alien story, they're always invading Earth. Mm-hmm. They're always ugly. Mm-hmm. They always want to kill you. They are impenetrable. They're not capable of being vulnerable. All these things, and he's crossed each one off and made them the opposite. All those things I said about an alien, you have these beings that are vulnerable, that are damaged, that are kind, that are. It seemed like, oh, and so we don't know how to deal with that because it makes us uncertain. If we know someone's willing or out to kill us, we know how to deal with that. We're fearful and whatever, but we're defensive, but we don't know how to deal with beings that are generous and kind and thoughtful. And it's like, what's happening? And look good to the human eye. And I mean, it's like, what am I dealing with?
Yeah, it's a mind-blowing content, and she's so good in it. She's so good in it.
Ray is we saw in Better Call Saul the talent that she has, and she's a lovely person too. I've come to know her a little bit, and she's really great, and what a talent. And I'm so happy for her to have to lead a show now, and because she certainly deserves it and can pull it off with greatness.
Yeah. So we mentioned the studio. You play Griffin Mill on the studio. I think it's the funniest stuff you have ever done. I mean, it makes me laugh so much. I cannot tell you the number of times on the show, on my radio show, that I have mentioned Old School Hollywood Buffet. I just think that is the funniest bit. And your whole sequence after the Old School Hollywood Buffet, you and the lobster, and then I love like the hand of nacho cheese. They're following like handprints of it is the funniest damn show. And I'm wondering how much of it is the actors and how much of it is the script. In other words, are you getting to play on that show?
A lot. Just like anything, the most important thing in after the script is casting. If you can cast it well, you're ahead of the game. So Evan Goldberg and Seth Rogen allow us to play. Now we have to get certain plot points out, but you can throw in a line here and there. We're tossing out different lines all the time. Like in that first season, in the party sequence at the end of the season, I was, doing stuff to him. I was being belligerent to him, and not Seth, Evan Goldberg whispered to me, he says, "What about Baby Bird? Baby Bird." So I put a piece of the chocolate in my mouth. Baby Bird made. It was a great note, and then you just add it, and we have to be very facile. So the guys will say, "Let's cut that line, add this line, but not there, down here." So you just gotta feel fluid with it.
Yeah.
Right. That's what's worked best there. But we're throwing out lines all the time. I know in that last sequence, my character was in a fountain outside in Vegas. I was in a fountain, and we do about an average about, I don't know, about 14 takes per scene, because there's no separate setups. It's all just kind of in a oneer. And one of the times I thought I just wanted to see if I can make because I was caressing her, I was kissing the fountain, I was fondling the fountain, I was being held by the fountain, it was all kinds of weird things. And I thought, oh, I want to make the writers laugh who are on the set. So I started orally copulating the fountain. And I heard the laugh, and I go, okay, good. I never thought for a second that that's the take that they would use. The thing was like, oh my God.
So good. So good.
It's crazy, but fun.
Now, are you doing a variation of Robert Evans, or is that Robert Evans in your head a little bit there?
Oh, very much so. Yeah. I had, it's like 2 years ago, I had just listened to Robert Evans's The Kid Stays in the Picture, his memoir.
Oh, so good.
And what a character he was. For those of you who don't know, he was a studio head at Paramount during the late 60s and early 70s, and shepherded a lot of huge films, The Godfather pictures being probably the most known.
Yeah, The Godfather and Love Story, they say, were the two movies that saved Paramount Pictures.
Paramount Pictures.
Golf and Western at that point, yeah.
Right. And he was quite a character. A former actor, always tan, always had his collar up, always like, he would create, for example, like a false sense of humility about him. He would say, I was having lunch in the commissary at Paramount, and this broad walked in, and with legs for days, and I knew I had to have her. And then he'd say something like, "But who am I? I'm a schmuck. Why would she even look at me? She wouldn't even pay attention. She wouldn't even know my name. She, wouldn't give me the time of day. But you know what? By the end of the week, I got her." And I thought, what an idiot. He's such a egotist that I thought, what a perfect template for this character of Griffin Mill. And so I'm super tan. I wear the tinted glasses.
Yeah.
I've got and I said, I'd like to look like I got stunted in the 70s. So and because I truly believe that, especially older men, it's like, and women, that you tend to continue to dress as you did when you were at your best. You're like, yeah, I felt my strongest in the 70s. And so he's got the turtleneck and the shark's tooth and this kind of phallic symbols and things like that. And he thinks very highly of himself. So it's a fun character. Could never be the lead character. It's got to be a supporting. And they just let me play. So I just added all kinds of lines, and some are inappropriate and some are. But the truth is that with Seth and Evan, they say if it's funny, it's most likely going to stay.
Yeah. So you worked with the late and great Catherine O'Hara on this show, and she you see a celebrity death, and sometimes you're like, it's terrible, but for some reason, this one really hit me because I've loved her for so many years, and I felt like in a lot of ways she was doing some of her best work. She did The Last of Us. She played a psychiatrist who was an alcoholic. It was fascinating. She had the studio with you. What? Tell me about Catherine O'Hara, working with her as a scene partner, all that stuff.
For some reason, Catherine and I, our paths had crossed many times. In fact, we played husband and wife 3 different times
Really?
over the course of the years. Not by no, it wasn't by I need to have Catherine or she says I need to have Brock. It was just by happenstance. We think, I think you and Catherine would make a good. Oh, great. Oh, I love Catherine. So 3 different times we played husband and wife. The last time was in a movie called Argyle, which is
I totally forgot about that. Yeah.
it's about 3 years ago,
Yeah.
2 years ago, something like that. And just adore her. And then when Seth offered me the role on the studio, and I said, "Who else is in it?" This was very early, and he went down the list, and I went, "Oh my God, this is so fantastic, Catherine." And so now in this show, we were nemesis to each other, and at each other's throat, which was wonderful to play. That's her. She was a comic genius, and she was also just a human genius. She was such a lovely human being. She she's the type of person that any actor, after the scene is done and you go and rest and sit down, you want to go and sit next to her.
Yeah.
Even though you're doing a scene after scene after scene with the same person, you don't want to break from her. You want to still have you want to still be close and talk to her about things. And she, we were around the same age. She was just a tad older than me, I think a year older than me. And I just adored her. I just adored her. And it was very shocking. I was in London when I heard, and unfortunately, I heard it about a half an hour before my curtain was to go up on my play. And I think it affected the play. I think he was a different man, my character in the play, because of what I experienced personally. And I try to not discount that I allow whatever I'm going through personally to bring that on stage with me and see how that feels, to allow my real feelings to bleed over into my character and see if it how that feels.
Yeah.
So it was really sad. I told the cast in London what had happened, and they were very consoling, and it was a sweet time, and you do it for her, and I know her, and it's like, as we were shooting the studio in Venice just recently, and we were all talking about her as we did often, and no, we knew without any doubt that she would probably say, "Okay, enough, get to the funny, funny,
Right.
do the funny."
Now, is it true that you guys went to Dearden Company and tried shrooms?
Yeah. Okay. So I had never done any any mushrooms or anything like that.
Oh man, you've been missing it, man.
I know, I guess so. So we're in Las Vegas. We're shooting this crazy show called The Studio.
Yep.
I'm with Seth Rogen, Ike Barinholtz, and we're going to the Sphere to listen to the Dearden Company. It's like, oh my God, they're all adding up. I guess I should. So I said, I'll never forget it. My first time. So I said to Ike Barinholtz, because he said, I have some mushrooms. I go, okay. And so Catherine O'Hara and I, who has also never done anything, we were saying, oh, well, let's do it together. We're kind of holding each other's hands and saying, okay, we're going to do it. We're going to do it. And by the time it came time to do it, we're at the concert, and she goes, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't. So she bailed out. And I said, Ike, if you mess me up, I'm telling you, I will haunt your life. He said, I promise you, it won't. And so in a little square piece of chocolate. I had that, and it was like, to be honest, didn't really feel anything.
Oh, really?
Well, I was already sipping my own mezcal,
Oh,
my
there you
dos
go.
my Dos Hombres mezcal, and that was putting me in a great mood to begin with. And then having this chocolate, and it was like, and Catherine kept saying, "Are you crazy? I said, what are you feeling now?" And I go, I don't really feel anything. So then I was mad at Ike for not feeling anything.
Exactly. Couldn't win. So, how is Dos Hombres? I actually, I walked into a place this last week and I said, "Do you have Dos Hombres?" They had Dos Hombres. I had a mezcalita. It was fantastic.
Yeah,
How is it? How is that venture going?
it's going really well. I started Dos Hombres Mezcal with, as you know, Aaron Paul, my partner in Breaking Bad. And we have just enjoyed this. It's a world class, old world spirit. It's not widely known because most everybody knows tequila, but they don't know mezcal,
Mm.
you know. And we have an announcement coming up later this month that will expand our product line.
Wow.
I
Oh, that's
can't really
fantastic.
say what it is, but we're expanding our product line, and we're really excited about it. So be looking for that. Dos Hombres Mezcal plus something,
Plus something.
plus something else.
That's a good
Yeah,
tease. That's a good
yeah, yeah.
tease. All right, so let's close out with the Dodgers. Obviously, this is well. Let me phrase it this way. I asked this last week. If they don't win this year, is it a total unmitigated disaster?
Not for me.
Yeah.
No, if they this baseball has become this highly specialized thing. You have to. It's almost as there was if there was a triathlon, and you have to swim and you have to bike and you have to run. But what if there was one more event, and it was you had to sit in a hot tub, right? It's
Right.
like,
Right.
well, that's the easy part, right? Oh my God, that's the easy part. Baseball now has become this arduous 162 game schedule. Um, and it always comes down to, in October, two things: which team is the healthiest and which team is the hottest.
Yeah.
Who catches fire and who's the healthiest. And that's who's going to end up in the deep in the playoffs and the World Series. So you never know. If I were Doc um, Roberts, I would, if someone said, I got an ingrown toenail, I'd say, I'm going to put you on the 10-day deal.
Yeah.
I want you to take 10 days off. It's August. It doesn't matter. Go rest, see your family, get some, come back fresh and ready. If someone said, my mother's not feeling well, I'm going to put you on the 3-day. Go. I would give so many days. Go.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
what really matters is their mental health and their physical health and well-being come October.
Yep.
And in order to get there, you gotta take it easy on the. So people are saying, hey, this Dodger team in 26 should win more games than any other team ever. And I said, who cares?
Yeah.
I don't care about that record at all. I don't. That's doesn't mean anything. Look, the record wasn't the record by the Seattle Mariners. They won more games in a single
116,
season,
I think. Yeah.
and they didn't win the World Series. They didn't get into the World Series, did they? It was like, it was terrible.
Yeah, they went out in
So,
the first round.
yeah,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter.
Yep. I think as you look at what's going on with that team right now, I think you're right that the regular season is sort of a dress rehearsal for the postseason. Where were you when you watched Game 7 of the World Series? Were you in London at that point?
Oh God. Okay, so yes, I was in London. Every game, every single game
I know. It was out in the
started
middle of the night, right?
at 1:10 a.m. 1:10 a.m. I had to get my sorry ass up, and I'm sitting in my little flat in London watching the game, knowing full well that the next day was not going to be good for me. I was going to be exhausted, and I was like, oh God, I'm going to pay for this. But I did. And my wife, Robin, was there, and she said, if it's exciting, wake me up. I said, okay. So seventh game, it gets down to the eighth, and I went, I think this is like, it's like, I said, wake up. By then it's 3:00 in the morning.
Oh yeah.
It's 3 something. And we sleepily sat in there and we watched it take place, and the turn of events, bink, 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 bink. And it was like, I think every baseball fan was watching it.
Oh,
like
it's the greatest World Series game I've ever seen.
So great. And then to see Miggy hit the tying home run in the it's like, oh my God, did that just happen?
Yeah, I thought we were dead at that point.
Yeah,
I thought we were dead. With me, I was like, just walk,
get on, get on somehow,
get on, so we can see show. And sure enough, Yanks won. It was amazing.
Yeah, not the Yanks.
Sweetest guy in the world, by the way. Did a show with him right afterwards. Miguel Rojas could not be a sweeter guy. And if there was ever anything nice to have, I mean, he deserves it. He is a really, really good dude.
Well, and the Dodger staff and brass, the owners, they know that.
Yeah.
And they know how important Miggy was in that clubhouse. And that's why he's got a job waiting for him after this season when he retires.
No doubt.
And it's right. He's going to be a terrific ambassador for the team.
Yeah. Now you're back in New York. Are you going to is All My Sons going to play on Broadway?
Yeah. I don't know yet.
No.
I'm in a great place. I'm very fortunate that I have to think about it, but the offer is there for me. If I want to do it, it'll be next year sometime if I do it. But I have to really think about my energy levels and what I really want to do. Since I've already played the role for 17 weeks in London, it's not like, oh, I'm dying to play that role. I've done it. So should I walk away, or should I revisit? I'm not sure. So we'll see. We'll see. So I'm here promoting Malcolm in the Middle for their 4 episodes that are coming up on the 10th.
Yep.
And I'm very excited about it.
Yeah, we are excited about the return of Malcolm in the Middle, the revival of Malcolm in the Middle. And then the studio, and we'll look for you. Whatever is next for you, we're always there for it. Best of luck. Make sure to tell Taylor I'm a huge fan, and send love to Robin.
I will.
And stuff.
Thanks, Mace. And when I get back in, let's all get together for dinner sometime, man.
Let's do it, man. Thank you very much.
All right. Good to see you, man.
Good to see you. There you have it, Bryan Cranston. Great conversation. Appreciate the time that he gave us. Malcolm in the Middle is really, really funny. It's like they never missed a step. I'm telling you, Taylor Dearden, if you do not watch The Pitt, she is amazing. She should be an Emmy nominee. This Emmy cycle, just tremendous. And Madonna in the studio. How about that? Love the studio. Can't wait for that show to come back. Hey, thank you very much for watching. And thank you very much for listening. And don't forget, if you're watching on the ESPN LA YouTube channel, smash the like button. Leave any kind of reaction down below in the comments section. If you're listening on Apple or on Spotify, please subscribe to the show. Leave us a 5-star rating and a review. Appreciate all you guys who are in on the ground floor of Mason Plus. Episode 5 in the books. See you next week on Mason Plus.